Wie wäre es, weniger Zeit mit dem Einkauf zu verbringen und dafür mehr Zeit für deine Lieblingspodcasts zu haben? Mit dem Rewe Abholservice geht das. Bestell deinen Einkauf einfach online und hol ihn bequem und fertig gepackt im Markt ab. Natürlich ohne Mindestbestellwert. So bleibt dir mehr Zeit für die nächste Podcast-Folge oder deine Lieblingstracks. Jetzt ausprobieren auf rewe.de/shop oder in der Rewe-App. Dein Rewe Abholservice. Online bestellen, im Markt abholen.
Chronic spontaneous urticaria, or chronic hives with no known cause. It's so unpredictable. It's like playing pinball. Itchy, red bumps start on my arm, then my back. Sometimes my legs. Hives come out of nowhere. And it comes and goes. But I just found out about a treatment option at treatmyhives.com. Take that, chronic hives. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
William, you didn't get the memo though.
No, I didn't get I normally don't get the memo. Is the memo I should be wearing a different shirt?
No, me and Ryan said we were gonna have matching haircuts. We thought you were gonna. We thought you were gonna join us as a way.
See, yours looks like a choice. Yours looks like a choice. His is definitely not a choice. I know.
Why is mine not a choice?
Wow, Ryan, you see this? Your own friends that'll do this to you.
I'm telling you, yours looks like a choice. Yours looks like a conscious decision. Like,
are you saying I've got the 5 o'clock shadow already? Jesus, good thing I'm recording.
I didn't get that memo. I'm sorry.
That's all right, man.
Hold on, we can send it to you.
I mean, we can help you, actually. I think me and Ryan would take
joy
in helping you get that cut.
I have an idea. At Unleash in the booth.
Yeah. A public shaving
head for charity.
Locks for love. Locks for love.
Locks for love. Yeah. I donated to him before. Yeah, let's do it.
How low did you cut it?
Oh, I went all the way down to a 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not afraid.
You got to bick it.
Because it'll come back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is William Tincup and Ryan Leary. We have Donald Knight on for the Practitioner's Corner. So we're going to learn all about Donald and his journey to his position today and kind of what he sees in HR currently, but what he's also kind of been through. So Donald, would you do us a favor and introduce yourself?
Yeah, happy to be here, William. And Ryan, thank you for having me. Donald Knight, Chief People Officer for Greenhouse Software. I am often asked, what is Greenhouse Software? It's hiring software, powering some of the most important and amazing, innovative companies on the planet. We believe in structured interviewing. And we believe that there's an opportunity for us to remove and try to eliminate as much bias inside of the hiring process. So when I'm not doing that, which is a lot of my life right now, I'm being a dad to my son, Dalen, or a husband to my wife, Ashley. I'm doing a lot of home projects too. And I'm very big on ice cream. William knows.
Wait a minute here. Home projects, we got to start there, Ryan, because you and I, we have a background in this here. So what type of home projects are we dealing with here?
So let me first say there's degrees of home projects. Okay. So if you're
the fact that you're breaking it down philosophically,
I already like
for a story. So let me just grab 100%. A drink here.
100%.
Yeah, there's definitely levels. Okay?
Yes.
I'm gonna let you know I'm not at the top level. There's guys and gals out there that are full on remodel,
100%.
jackhammer. I'm not that guy.
This looks like a false wall. We could take this down, do this, and the other.
No,
no, not me.
I like to consider myself. I'm level 3.
Okay.
I'm GC.
Okay.
I'm really good at GC.
Yeah, you need to do this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So what's the project you're working on?
First, we had board and batten wall for the office, which is where I was going to take this conversation, but my lighting is terrible today, so I was like, no, let's switch it up. Right. But we had the board and batten wall, so we did that. We did the home gym.
Okay.
Recently, my favorite room we've been working on is the nursery.
Oh yeah, that's coming. By the time this publishes, we might have a new night.
That is true. Right now they're calling it the Night Watch. So all of our families, they're like, look, it's Night Watch 24. They're just waiting for baby girl to get here. So
we were supposed to record last week.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there was a trip to the hospital because things were advancing quicker than we thought. So
I
the
think
nursery, did
I
you
think
put
the
everything together?
practitioner's corner is the accelerant to
Right.
baby girl getting here. We got to get her in a corner first, where the
Yeah.
practitioners are. Then she'll
Nobody,
arrive.
nobody
Yeah.
puts baby in the corner. Sorry, that's not gonna work.
Do we have a
So
name picked out?
yeah,
We do it. We have a middle name picked out. Elise.
Okay.
oh, it's beautiful.
Elise. Elise. Because
Yeah.
my son's middle name is Elijah. So Elise means God's promise. So we got
Right.
that. First name, I don't know what we're going with. We got three runners. You two
Okay.
should vote. This is great. You could vote on
We
the
should.
name.
Okay.
All right, so we
Give
got
it to us.
Dawson,
Okay. How you spell it?
Dawson.
Yeah. Okay.
We have Dakota,
Okay.
Dakota. Oh, OTA, yeah. And then we have Avery, Avery. Let me tell you the reasons behind them.
It's got to be family names. So go ahead.
Not family names, but close. So
Okay.
I wanted to name Dalen after me. And I was
Right.
going to name him Donald Knight III. My wife said, no way. I was like, we'll call him Trey. She was like,
Oh, dude, that would have been so
I love it.
cool.
So
Trey Knight. Trey Knight. Trey Knight is somebody that goes places.
See, it
Yeah.
works. And then
Yeah.
still on paper, it's like, it's still strong. It's like he has the
Right.
Roman numeral 3. She
That's
wasn't rocking. So I studied abroad in Ireland in grad school, went with Dalen. It worked. It stuck. She liked it. So this entire time we're thinking maybe we keep the D names, DEK as the initials for the kids. So we got the E name, Elise.
Right.
So we
it's
were
just
debating.
it's got to be a D.
Yeah, debating on Dawson and Dakota. And then
Dawson and Elise. So what would you call her if it was Dawson and Elise? Would you call her Elise?
my wife said she'll call her Ellie.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
And then if we did Dakota, we were going to call her Coco with a K. Yeah, Coco.
Coco Knight.
I like it.
Knight. I like both of them, actually.
It's a big responsibility to vote on
Dude,
this.
Ryan, you're about to name my child. This is important.
Dude, seriously,
I know.
try not to mess this up, please. Try not to mess this
Then
up.
my sister's the only girl.
Yeah.
Right? So she says to my wife, "No, it's a girl. We don't have a girl on either side because my brother-in-law had 2 boys. My brother had one boy.
Right.
So she was like, you should name her an A name like you, and let's break the patriarchy and
well, first of all, your wife's going to win on that deal.
she's gonna win.
I had the illusion. We used to, I don't know how y'all did it, but we would go out to eat. We'd have the baby book, the baby name book.
Okay.
And we'd go through, and it's so random. It's like, Amy. No, I dated a girl named Amy. Can't do it. You're just ruling out name. Ralph. No, I beat up a kid in 4th grade named Ralph. Can't do that. You're just really going through the names. You're just ruling them out. And we ruled out more names than we ruled in. And then finally we were like, what about family names? All right, what do we got? So John Henry is my grandfather, great-grandfather. Joseph Sire is my grandfather. So it's like Joseph Henry. Done. Okay, that made sense. And when Van came along, we went to her side of the family. We go, well, what do we got? Carly Van and Hollis Saucier. It's like Van Hollis. So our names literally are rooted in people. So, but
I feel like I was purchased at Walmart and just not returned.
We didn't.
I don't have a good story like this.
Well, my story is from my brothers. So my first name's Jeffrey, right? My oldest brother's named John, and then Joel. So I'm the baby of those 3, right? So back then, this is the 60s. It was very popular to have all your kids named either an ABC or pick a letter, and then all of them are named in that letter. Very popular. Yeah. So, but I don't go by Jeffrey. I go by William. That's my middle name. So, yeah. But the naming of the kid was so funny because we ruled out so many names just based on experience. And it was dumb stuff like, oh no, there's a girl at a bar one time. Got no fight. No, that name we can't name a kid that though. Like, all right, well, that's cool. Hey, yeah, Ryan, you were going to ask a question.
I'm not gonna. I feel like we're pressed for time. I feel like if we don't get this recording in, He's going to be leaving halfway through the conversation.
He's
We're
got
talking about baby names.
people will love that.
Oh, I would totally. We have to do a part 2 though. Like the part 2 would be amazing. I'll bring my daughter.
There you go. Okay,
Hey,
we
you know,
talked about
She'll be
this.
around a lot.
Kind of hoping you just throw the earbuds in and take us along for the ride.
I mean, yeah, I'll vlog it. We'll vlog it.
Exactly. So, had you in 8th grade, you were thinking, okay, I want to be an HR leader,
Basically.
right? That's what. So, what? How'd you get into this bid? How'd you get into HR and people
Yeah.
and talent, etc.?
Yeah, so it's literally at 16, which was almost 8th grade, right? A little past 8th grade.
Yeah, a little bit.
My parents divorced, and they filed for separation. They separated, and they were going to go get divorced. They both had these attorneys. The attorneys were horrible.
Still are.
And
Full stop.
yeah, but I saw the way this experience was like affecting my siblings, and so I basically sat them down, and I told them like, "This is what you get. This is what you get. You're going to sign this. You're going to sign that. I'm going to email your attorney. That's going to be the decree."
Wow.
And it worked. It worked.
Somebody had to be the adult.
Yeah. Basically. So I assumed at that point I got to be an attorney.
100%.
It worked.
100%.
These
You're already mediating.
Job done. I just knew I'm a shoo-in. Like,
where'd you grow up?
my parents are military, but they were
you moved on.
Virginia. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. About 15, 20 miles south of Richmond. So I just assumed that was my trajectory. Like I didn't even think about anything else.
Right. So go to college, get an English or history degree, maybe political science, go to law school. You're on path.
Spot on. I was a double major criminal justice, political science.
Done. Yeah. Good.
And so my thought was go to law school, be an attorney, become general counsel, from general counsel, be a CEO. That was the goal. And when I had an internship with the Department of Defense through the only retail agency, by the way, that's owned by the federal government, Defense Commissary Agency. So they basically sell like grocery to
all the stuff on base.
Exactly, to all active military veterans.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they close a base, the commissary still stays open.
Exactly, and they'll open up the gate typically closest there.
Right.
So most people didn't realize this, but at the time that I graduated, there were 256 commissaries on the planet, 18,000 employees.
Yep.
Wow.
And 6 different collective bargaining agreements. So 6 different unions representing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was wild, man. Wow.
Oh, that's intense. And so were all of them unionized, or were some of them
No, not all of them. Not all of them were unionized. Typically, you would see folks like cashiers, forklift drivers, and then based on certain specific areas of the world, like Hawaii had their own council.
Yep.
But so I'm interning there, and I'm like, the CHRO was like, "Hey, you've done a really, really good job. Like, I want you to come work in HR." And literally, I laughed the same way you just said. I was running this grant.
You're like, what's HR?
Like, what? Nobody likes HR. Nobody likes it.
Sorry, isn't that where people go to die? No, I can't. I've got a career in mind. Sorry, no.
It's a great backup plan. It's a nice plan B, but like, not. So, no. And she was like, no. Like, she said, the profession itself is changing, and they're going to need people who understand business and people. And I was like,
wrong.
I was like, I appreciate the sentiment, but no. The lady I was dating at the time, though.
Yes. No. Got it.
But the lady I was dating at the time, she's like, "Hey, you should think about this." I was like, "No. Like, what are you talking about?" Like,
how old were you at this point?
I was 21.
Yeah, still in undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, "Hey, like, I'm not doing HR.
I've got a plan. I've got
You just got to stick to the plan."
Work
so
the
then
plan.
I started seeing how expensive law schools were.
Oh yeah, that does impact the decision,
right?
Yes.
So I take the LSAT, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll just go have someone else pay for law school." Like in my mind, none of these things were hard because it's like
100%.
at 16, I had brokered what I thought was the hardest deal of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how'd you do on the LSAT?
I did really good. I got into 4 of my top 5 law schools, but the price was just crazy.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I'll go in the military, have the military pay for it. Both my parents are military. They'll pay for it. I'll go JAG. I'll be an officer, go JAG. Then I'll get out, be general counsel, and become a CEO.
It's just it's one step. It's like, okay, yeah, no worries.
It's
Still
like
on plan. Still on plan.
The way I thought about it, it was almost like when you drive GPS, or like we've been talking about this.
Recalculating.
Yeah, it just rerouted me. And
That's
I
awesome.
had started to me and this lady I'm dating at the time. I'm like, we're really starting, like, we're really into each other. My wife and her they get along now because they're the same person. So it worked out. It worked out. But
I was wondering where that was going.
Yeah.
Pick it up. Yeah.
That lady became a different lady. We're cool with that lady.
They're definitely different. They're definitely different now.
100%.
But same person. But she basically said, like, look, like, your parents were military. They weren't around. Family's important to you. If we're thinking about starting a family, like, law school isn't going anywhere. The military isn't going anywhere. Right. You should actually think about this HR thing. I'm like, I'm not doing HR. So that CHRO basically said, if you go to B school but get a concentration in HR management, the government will pay for 25% of it.
That sounds
it allowed me to stay closer. My wife, my now wife, is 2 years younger than me, so I got to stay in the same area in Richmond where she was. And the rest is history, man. I started doing employee and labor relations there, sunk my teeth in some of the most grueling arbitrations and mediations. And she told me if I learned that side of
everything's
HR,
easier.
You could learn anything else, because that was probably the more difficult. It's not rainbows and roses. You're not telling people, hey, you got a job, Ryan. Welcome to the company. Like, no.
Right.
Quite the opposite.
Which is what everybody thinks HR is.
Yeah.
We're the people.
Yeah.
Great.
And the idea of, like, learning and studying collective bargaining agreements was this idea of, like, there's going to be
studying law. You're still studying law. In your mind, you're still interacting with the law.
Still interacting with the law, learning from a business perspective, how to really be able to, like, negotiate and be able to figure out, like, we couldn't get our jobs done. The agency wouldn't be successful without the people that we had that were in labor unions. Like, they were critical to our mission.
Right.
And so almost like trying to get them to understand that, look, even when we're not seeing eye to eye, we're still wearing the same jersey.
Sorry.
And so, man, that founded my literally my foundational years in the profession. And the first movie she told me to watch was George Clooney, Up in the Air.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I remember the first time I actually had to, like, have a difficult performance conversation with someone. I was terrified. This person's like twice my age. Like, I'm looking at them like, I should not be having this conversation.
I like the Moneyball. I like Brad Pitt's bit in Moneyball about when you have to lay off, when you have to, you've traded a player.
Yeah.
Like that bit, if you haven't watched the movie in a while, that bit is just like, hey, listen, you've been traded. Here's Jenny's number. Jenny's going to take care of all your travel, get you to your next place. Good luck.
Yeah.
That's it. And the players are like, all right. Hey, there's no ceremony. It's just like, okay, that's matter of fact. You rip the Band-Aid off really fast. But most people don't have that. They don't have that experience at all. When you were doing negotiation work or mediation work, did you ever read a book called Getting to Yes?
Yes.
BATNA. So we can actually talk BATNA.
We can talk BATNA. But here's the thing. I didn't read that until my employee and labor relations journey was almost over.
I'll
tell you why though. There was I had 20 arbitrations and I lost one. And again, I'm going against, like, young attorneys graduating from, like, Penn and Georgetown. The one I lost is the one that sticks with me the most. It's also the one that shaped my career the most. There was a young lady, chronic absenteeism. I'm talking about, will, like, be tardy, no show. And the operation wasn't 24/7, but like we need our cashiers to be there. If the cashiers aren't there, it limits the amount of grocery we can get through. And as you can imagine, like these are perishable items. So, she was on like a final warning, and she didn't show up. So I fired her.
Yeah.
I was justified to fire her.
Yeah. Paperwork's already in line. Why are we even talking?
Exactly. We go to arbitration. The arbitrator says, hey, like in your investigation, what did you determine to fire her? And I was like, what do you mean? There was no investigation.
Yeah. The paperwork had already kind of been laid, and she knew what was going to happen.
There's progressive discipline for a reason.
Right.
And it was in that moment that I learned, again, the biggest lesson. So come to find out, she had two kids. The eldest was struggling with the dad being deployed, so ran away from home. And she went out looking for the daughter, loses track of time. She's calling the authorities. That's why she didn't show up. And basically the arbitrator was like, as a leader, you still have to be able to demonstrate empathy for the situation. If you go by the letter of the law, you're absolutely correct. She should be terminated. Right. But any empathetic leader would have looked at the situation and said, hey, what influenced you to get to this point? And I was like, she was on are you kidding me? You know how many arbitrations I'm like navigating?
Yeah, but even
like, I don't have time to like do if I did an investigation on everybody to figure out if they should follow the progressive discipline path. And she was like.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Business. We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Once upon a mundane morning, Barb's day got busy without warning. A realtor in need of an open house sign. No, 50 of them, and designed before 9.
My head hurts.
Any mighty tools to help with this plight? Aha! Barb made her move. She opened Canva and got in the groove.
Bulk creating Canva sheets. Create 50 signs fit for suburban streets.
Done in a click, all complete.
Sweet!
Now, imagine what your dreams can become when you put imagination to work at canva.com.
But she taught me something, and she said, first, she gave me that book. She gave me another book by Kim Blanchard called Situational Leadership.
Of course.
And she told me, like, you have to know that where your profession is going, we're going to need people who not only understand the letter of the law in business, but you have to understand people. And when there's exigent circumstances, like, you got to be able to demonstrate empathy. If you don't learn how to demonstrate empathy, you will limit your growth in your career.
Right. So is this where the transition started to happen into people for you?
Yeah, that's when I realized that moment for me was, okay, do I want to be an attorney? Like, do I want to take on a profession where I'm incentivized both financially and from a words of affirmation perspective to hold my ground?
That's right.
Do I want to be in a profession where I'm incentivized to not find the wiggle room? In fact, I'm incentivized to try to create a defense or create an argument that argues why wiggle room should not be allowed in the first place.
That's right.
Like I went through like this whole like down this tunnel, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be an attorney anymore. What do I want to be? That CHRO that had given me that chance, her name was Kay Kennedy, and she was retiring like in a month and a half. I was graduating with my MBA in a month and a half. And I remember HR Executive, they still do this too. HR Executive is a magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get any kickbacks from it by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
Who the editor-in-chief or any of those people are. But HR Executive would put out the top 20 highest paid or top 50 highest paid CHROs on the planet. And Kay Kennedy sent it to me as a parting gift, as a link in my email. And she said, if you live up to your potential, I will see you on this list one day.
Wow.
And For me, it was less about the money and more to do with I started reverse engineering, like literally all these people's careers, where they went to school, how much time they spent in each role, how many of them, how did you get to large scaled enterprise businesses as opposed to startups, who had exits, who didn't. Like I just went down for like a month and a half, just started studying these people left and right.
Did you find any common themes between them?
I did. I found a few common themes actually, which if you're listening to this, your boss likely won't like me telling this to you.
Leave after 3 years.
But we're going to tell you anyway.
Yeah, the average leader on there spent no more than 3 years in a role.
That's right.
Okay. Not necessarily at the company, but in a role.
Not necessarily at the company.
No.
In
just
a
in that role. Yeah.
Right.
What that taught me is you have to be very intentional about your own growth.
That's right. It gets to who manages your career. Are you managing your career, or are they managing your career?
Exactly.
And we're in an era with free agency in sports where you have to take an active role in managing your career. If you don't, then you get what is left for you.
Yeah, it's funny you said free agency, William, because I hearken this to the NBA.
Yep.
If you notice, there was a shift in the NBA where the players started deciding, no, Ryan, me, and William are going to team up in a location. We're not going to leave it up to Jerry West, Mitch Kupchak, or any GMs.
Right.
We're going to be our own fate. You saw more player options and contracts since 2010 than you did prior to 2010 in NBA contracts.
Well, everyone wants to blame LeBron for that. I'm going to take my talents to South Beach, but I don't know if he was the first one that did that. I mean, there were some super teams before that. They might have been organic, meaning they come through the draft or they come through trades, etc. But he
wasn't
was
as polarizing until that point, though.
And I don't even think it was polarizing. For me, from a talent perspective, I think the talent should win. And if they want to play together, if guys want to play together, you know, that's why I'm always fascinated by like the Olympic teams and the kind of all those different competitions where they bring people together. I mean, there's stories of people at All-Star games where they get together at All-Star games. They're playing on the same team. They used to be playing against each other. Now they're playing with each other. It's like, hey man, we got a good vibe. Like this could be good. Why don't we figure out when's your contract up? You know, where do we want to go together? And it's like, I'm a big fan of that. Actually, I'm a proponent for the talent winning and the talent being able to make the decision. I also like the NBA because it's guaranteed contracts. Yeah. Like in football, it's not guaranteed contract, as y'all know, right? So you might get a $150 million contract, but only $20 million of it is guaranteed. I don't like that.
But what I agree with you. I use that to say this though: in the short term, people will feel like they're being punished for a selfish decision about their career.
Right.
However, in the long term, you will be praised.
Right. Agreed.
And so for any practitioner right now, you should be very intentional about your own development plan. And your leader has a responsibility, a shared responsibility, to be able to vision cast what growth looks like for you. When you get to a point where you're working for a leader who is no longer vision casting the growth for your career, it is likely a time for you to either switch leaders at that company or switch companies altogether.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the first common theme that I saw. Okay. The second common theme is every experience was additive.
Right.
Right. So I remember looking at Joe Taylor, who was the CHRO for Dunkin' Donuts. I remember looking at Michael Campbell at Delta. Like, I studied these folks. My best friend, Chris, he's going to listen to this and he's going to be like, they have no clue how obsessive you were in studying.
He had dossiers. It's like the CIA.
You have like vision boards of whatever they call them up on your wall.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Ryan, I had a meet list. So my goal was to be able to meet as many of these executives on that list.
Right.
And not just to meet them so I can say, oh, I met them.
No.
I wanted to pick their brain because like I ran track, right? So sports for me has always been around the way you're able to get better is not just being in the gym or training, but it's listening to those athletes that came before you. And I ultimately believe business is the greatest sport. And so for me, I wanted to go talk to Nicole from IBM. Like I want to pick her brain. Yeah. I want to know like how is it running a 200,000 person company from a people perspective? Like, if I think my team has opinions and my team has opinions on people, I can't even imagine. I had people like Katie Burke on my list from HubSpot. Like,
Yep.
so like, and all of these people, they'll tell you, no, they've actually met me. Like, I've been checking them off, but all of their experiences were additive. They were always looking for something on their resume they did not have. And so from a practitioner perspective, for me, like, I've done the 18,000 big DOD agency, and it checked retail for me, right? Roughly our annual recurring revenue at Defense Commissary Agency was anywhere between $4 and $6 billion. It's the number one. If you ask any person in military or veterans, every year it comes back as the number one benefit that is offered to men and women in uniform. So I checked retail, I checked government. So I had to leave there and I had to figure out, how do I add something else? And so since then, if I like fast forward to where I'm at today, I've added Fortune 200 utility energy company, Southern Company. I've added 7,000 person marketing advertising agency. And now I've added SaaS company scaled from roughly 130 to over 200 million in ARR today.
Yep.
Like each time I'm trying to add something. Greenhouse also checked for me private equity. I wanted to be like, what did it feel like to be private equity backed? And like, what does that dynamic even look like? How do you figure out like good PEs versus bad PEs? And for me, I'm fortunate that our private equity team at TPG, they've been phenomenal in my own growth and development around compensation committee. Like, I'll put this as a footnote, William. Like, the other reason we have to also talk to other practitioners is you'll start to figure out not everybody's experiences are created equal.
Right.
I know CHROs, CPOs who have talked literally to William. They don't run comp committee at their company.
That's right.
In fact, they don't even get to look. Some of them don't even get to look at the cap table. Right. They don't know who's on it. They can't talk to you about FDSO. They can't tell you about 409A valuation. And so for me, like I use these conversations as a way of validating, is there more experience I need to go get? Where can I be additive? How can I pick? I try to pick the companies that I work for. And so for me, like, that has been critical to my success. The other thing I think that was critical is that Kay told me go get business experience. So when I went to Southern Company, I actually was head of business development for one of their smaller utilities out of Virginia Beach. And that experience alone was phenomenal. Like, having to be in the business and partner with HR, like our HR person, she was a phenomenal, kind person, was not an accelerant to my business.
Right. It happens all the time.
Yeah, could not get out of this is the way the policy reads. And I'm like, look,
compliance.
Or compensation caps. Like, any company that has compensation caps on business development, sales, revenue roles, why would I want to cap someone bringing in deals to the company? Like,
never understood it. Not only that, I've never understood companies that change sales compensation halfway through a year or something like that. Like, you're messing with people's money.
You're de-incentivizing them. They're not happy.
Yeah. So
advice you give your younger self?
I won't borrow from LeBron. They just asked him this question. What would he tell himself? And he said, I wouldn't tell him anything, just to continue to trust himself. I can't say the same thing because I wasn't saving a franchise at 18 or 21.
Yeah, 100%. A little bit different, but still.
Can't say that. No, you know what I think I would say? I'd probably say two things, William. I think the first thing I would tell myself is to first seek to understand, then to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Covey. Yeah. I think so many times we can be so hungry to want to like demonstrate our abilities when we're younger in our profession that we don't get enough of the lay of the land first. And I think that's the biggest, like, if you had to transpose 20-year-old, my 20s versus my 30s, I'll be 38 in July. If you had to like compare those 2 decades for me, I think the difference would be people in my 30s would tell you I'm typically the last person to speak on a topic. And in my 20s, I was the first. And the reason why is like I want to understand like where's Ryan coming from, where's William coming from,
Right.
how can I be additive to the conversation? I'm not just going to say something just to say something that doesn't make sense. So the first one is like to first seek to understand, then to be understood. I think the second thing for me though is like I've been a sponge. William, I think you've seen this at conferences. Ryan, I don't know if you've seen this, but like I'm like a lot of my success as a practitioner has been because I've just been able to listen at the feet of other people. Like I haven't been afraid to like go pick some of the greatest veterans, Dean from former CHRO at Patagonia. Like he and I were just nerding out on people analytics, and I hung up the call and I was just full because I know the way I've been thinking about shifting the profession on analytics, and this guy's been thinking about that for years. And like we're nerding out, and this guy again, he's been CHRO in multiple companies, and so I'm excited about some of the upcoming conferences because I'm gonna bump into him there, and we're gonna set some time aside just to nerd out. But I think as a practitioner, you can't be afraid to seek out those that are wiser than you. And wisdom doesn't necessarily just mean like go find people who have fancy titles. Some of the folks that I've learned the most from, they don't actually sit in CHRO CPO seats, but they've been doing a lot of the work. And they like doing that work. They find that work to be fulfilling. And so like I've done a deep dive with like Sam Reeve from Comp Team on just like how do I take my company from no compensation philosophy to creating one? Like what does that even look like? How do I cross that chasm? And so for me, like that's where I have found a lot of the knowledge that I've been able to add to my own toolkit is like just listening to those who have traversed a little bit before me.
Where have you gotten in, or where do you, if you are now, I'm sure, getting in your own way? Where do you just need to like stop thinking about it too much and just go forward?
Let it go. Let it go.
Who was that? That was it
Tommy
was
Boy.
Disney. Oh, that. Well, I'm thinking Disney because that's what my household is.
Yeah.
Let it go.
No,
Elsa, right?
I'm thinking Tommy Boy.
Yeah,
That is Elsa Frozen, yeah.
We
Classic.
are in different worlds right now. Yeah.
Probably I'll say two things again that probably get in my way the most. In many ways, I'm an obsessive and perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
I think our profession is one that strives for perfection because the business doesn't often give our profession the leeway for
100%.
imperfection.
100%. Mistakes can't be made in payroll.
Yeah. Like if in many ways, I wish HR could be like an engineer. Somebody could be like, oh man, well you messed up my bonus. I'm gonna be like, oh, it was in beta. It was in beta. Your bonus was in beta. That was the MVP bonus. We're
just playing. That's the best marketers. They just throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah,
Engineers do the same thing. With HR, it's not that way. You're dealing with live ammo, so you have to. When you're going to take that shot, you can't make a mistake.
Yeah,
or at least I think that's the feeling that everyone has about HR. Outside of HR, even inside, it's analysis paralysis meets I can't make a mistake, and I think that's debilitating for pretty much all of HR. Like you're going to make mistakes because you're dealing with people.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the contributing reasons why most HR teams are not liked.
Yeah.
It's easy not to like a team that's set up to fail. Like if perfection is the only, there's no pass or fail. It's perfect or imperfect.
Right.
And so we have to, in my opinion, I feel like we have to start changing the dynamic where you could start with the end in mind, but perfection is not the goal. Like iteration should be the goal.
Well, perfection is also very subjective. Your ideal of what is perfection is not the same as Ryan's or mine or etc. Like it's a crystal. You turn the crystal, it's just a slightly different way, and you see something different. Yeah. That's your vision of what is perfect. So it's an illusion that we have about the word perfectionism. It's like there is no such thing as perfect because it's subjective. It's at that particular moment your ideal of what perfection is at 38 versus 28, they're different things.
Yeah.
So, what's keeping you up at night these days? And again, of what you can talk about, of course. But what's occupying your brain when you go to bed?
Yeah. Let me answer your last question. And the second thing is that I think I can do better is I have a strong bias towards action. And what I'm learning is everything does not require the same speed.
Oh, I used to have a phrase. This, I still do use this, but I would say this is a conversation with no outcomes. So when I start the conversation with somebody, I would say, we're going to have a conversation. There's no outcomes. It's just, I'm going to say something, you're going to say something, we're going to go back and forth, and then we'll go back and think.
I like that.
And then we'll come back and, okay, then maybe we'll figure it out at that point. But you start with, listen, I'm not going to write something down at the end of this call, or you're not going to.
Is that the Southern version of bless your heart?
Not close.
Is that
close.
what that means?
No, I think
I'm pretty sure you've used that on me once or twice.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
No, this is the bit of, because what Donald said, it triggered for me, I was that way too. I've got my checklist right down, right on my desk right now. I'm very much writing things off and checking things off the list. And sometimes you just have to have the conversation.
Yeah.
And then breathe. And let it breathe, and let the topic breathe, and let the other person have time to reflect. You can reflect, and then go back, okay, let's revisit this.
Yeah, you sound like Strauss right now. I'm totally borrowing that, though. I'm gonna give you credit. This is a conversation with no outcomes. I'm totally.
You set the expectation at the jump.
At the top, yeah, I like it. Three things keeping me up. Number one, I don't think our profession has a consistent way of the stories we tell with data. I feel like CFOs have a consistent, if I talk to any CFO, they're typically tracking the same metrics.
All right.
And CPS and CHRO is all over the place. So this is a big project for me. I'm super excited about. I'm partnering with some phenomenal CPOs in the space. Carol Alamano from Lattice, Dean, former Patagonia. Now he's at Guild. These are the folks that I want to create that for the profession. What is the standard on what data matters? And when I say data that matters, I'm not talking to other people in our profession. We can track all types of different data. I'm talking about what is the data we need to be sharing with boards? What is the data we need to be sharing with our?
Isn't there something with the SEC that we have some standards that are there?
But that's all for reporting if you're a public company, like the SOX compliance.
Right.
That's not what I'm talking about. It's like what metrics are most important for us to be tracking as a profession.
Got it. Okay.
And we don't have that today. And I want us to have that. I think that's the first one. The second thing that's keeping me up at night is turning all of my leaders into storytellers. I think storytelling is the biggest skill set that is missing inside of our profession.
I got a hack for that if you're ready.
Oh, yeah. What? I'm always
ready. When you get all of them together, go to an improv comedy. And all the improv comedy stores or shops that you have, they all do classes during the day. So at night they do their bits, but during the day they teach people how to do improv. And so they teach corporate people, this is perfect. You just grab all of them together at a retreat or whatever. It's like, hey, we're going to go learn improv. And once you learn improv, it's like, yes, and you can take things. It doesn't matter what the person said before. Hey, pink elephants. It's like, oh yeah, pink elephants. Hey, yes, and you're over here. So it might not get them to the place you want them to, but it's a hack that will help them develop their skills of thinking on their feet and to be able to talk about things. So
nice. I'm gonna have to use that. And I think the third thing that's keeping me up at night is a combination of economic headwinds. I think they've been sustained for a certain amount of time just in tech and in SaaS. And so I think there's a group of folks that have never seen this. Like if you just look at like the dynamics of the types of talent that are in tech and SaaS companies right now, some of them have never seen a downturn.
Nope.
And so it's like, how do I keep those folks motivated and fulfilled during this time frame? That keeps me up at night because I recognize this is going to be the foundational years for them on how do they navigate downturns in the economy moving forward. And like for people like us, like we know, like This happens every 8 to 10 years.
We've been there.
We hit a bottom, it bounces back. We learn from that bottom. We get better the next time. Another 8 to 10 years happens. It happens again. And so we have like this multi-year perspective.
That's not a baby calling, is it?
No, it's not the baby. We're good.
I was about to say.
We have this multi-year perspective.
Right.
And I think not everybody else is afforded that same opportunity. Like they've only seen the world in like 2022, 2023, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, the Earth is falling," and I'm like, "No, it's okay.
No, it's all right."
Yeah.
On Instagram, it's proximity night. You've got some not side projects, but you do other really interesting things. And that'll be my last question. I think Ryan has one too. But just what kind of on the side things that kind of keep you inspired and things that you like doing? What are those types of things?
I think there's two things that keep me most inspired: youth and media.
Yeah.
The youth keeps me inspired because look, I just bookend Gen Z. My son was born in 2010. My daughter's being born in 2024. Right. Those literally the bookends of Gen Z. But when you talk to like, I talk to my son or his friends, they just have a different default. Their default is very different. And I'm not talking about just like technology and technology advancement and AI. I'm not talking about just that. But like the way that they even just like get along, the way they navigate and traverse school and like the ethos on life, it's just different. Like my son's learning Japanese, not because he's taking Japanese at school, but because he loves anime. And so him and two of his friends have stacked hands that they're going to learn Japanese. And they've convinced the parents that we're taking a trip to Japan, which was supposed to be this spring break. But because we're having a kid and another one of the families is going somewhere else to visit family, we've pushed it out 1 year. But like they're learning Japanese just because of like their favorite show. And like I couldn't imagine when I watched Dragon Ball Z, I never would have called Ryan and said, "Hey, we're going to Japan next year." Like what?
The fact that they've convinced you to go to Japan?
Genius.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty
negotiation skills from somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
So and then media. The reason I think media, I think we're seeing a turn in media. I think, William, look, you and Ryan are positively contributing to this, whether you know it or not. I think the days of just using media platforms as purely entertainment purposes is like those days I think are gone. Like I think people are looking to be educated and informed. And yeah, podcast is one way of doing that. Going live is one way of doing that. But I think about all of the companies. Think about Hopin, Riverside. Any of these companies, they didn't exist 10 years ago, man.
That's right.
And so for me, like, it's like, I see something happening in the ecosystem, which is like people want to start to learn more and more. They're not, despite what you see on television, that's the old media. I can't believe I'm sounding like Draymond Green right now. This is ridiculous.
You are.
There is a new media. And so to your point about like my passion or pet projects, my what I like to do is how can I make sure we're contributing in our space where we own a good voice or a good thought and perspective to help inject, these types of stories that I find that others can find to be informative or educational. And so,
for me, it's like all the smoke on Instagram. I learned more about how the NBA, kind of the inner workings of the NBA, listening to two former players just talk. They're just telling stories. Like, remember that time in 90, they're just kind of talking, but it's like, man, I was on the other side of that, and I was like watching it as a fan. I had no idea that stuff was going on.
Yep.
So it's just it's fascinating. There is an entertainment part of it, but really it's education. I love that. Good call, Ryan. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Did you have anything you wanted to close that with?
I'm good. I think we've interrogated Donald enough.
he's got to go, man.
He's had depreciation. He's got a baby coming.
Yeah, bring it.
I can ask a question of you two?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I have two questions for you. Both of you have to answer both questions.
100%.
First question is, why did you start the Practitioner's Corner? Because I think this idea of having a dedicated space in media for actual practitioners is phenomenal. Like we don't have where you can go get that. Number one. Then number two, weigh in on the baby names: Dawson, Dakota, or Avery. What's your freaking vote?
I'm going to start with the second.
Okay.
It's got to be a D. So we're down to 2, right?
Yeah.
I like the name Dakota Knight. There's something about it that is just cool.
Okay.
And again, you're gonna call her Ellie, or Ellie, I believe. So, but I think that's just a cool. First of all, I think it's a cool name. On the former, I had a podcast for years called Drive Through HR. I wanted to learn HR, so I was coming out of marketing. And I didn't know very much about HR. And so we set up a daily 30-minute live podcast with just HR pros. And so every day, the first question, what's keeping you up at night? And in the 5 years I did the show, never got the same response.
Wow.
The rich tapestry of HR that most people don't understand. People that are outside of HR, they think, okay, it's these 5 things. Like, man, it's so much more richer than that. With the Practitioner Corner, as Ryan and I discussed the shows that we wanted to create, all the other 4 are pretty straightforward. The Practitioner's Corner, it's like this is a place for us to learn both the stories from the practitioner, but also for other practitioners to give them a space to learn as well.
Yeah, we also have another show that we do inside the C-suite. Same idea, where we're not learning about the tech. There's plenty of shows out there for that. We're not learning about the company. This is about their journey.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, the C-suite is really a great show, I think, because we get to learn about the journey of leaders and their failures. Right. And I think too many people hide the failures unless you're super successful. Then you talk about your failures. And I think we need to normalize
but in each
that.
one of those shows, we've already like 4 in. And in each one of those shows, they talked about their failures. Like,
absolutely.
I hit a wall here. We took a company. We blew $18 million this way, blah, blah, blah. Like it's
and that's where I think, for me, the Practitioner Corner comes in. I think the practitioner corner for me, I think, is a little bit more interesting than the C-suite.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people that we talk to or that listen to this, they are practitioners.
100%.
Right. And they don't have, I'm sure most people have a little network, right? Their circle. But they don't really get the stories of people that have risen above a little bit, that have success. And they don't get to hear their journey and see, oh, I can relate to that. I'm on that path. It's just really interesting to me. And I get to learn a lot. I mean, I know most of the people we talk to, but I get to actually ask questions without feeling weird in a setting of like 20 people. Right. Because that's the job, ask the questions. Right. But now I get to ask you weird questions like, what's your biggest fear? Like, I want to know, like, what are you afraid of when you're thinking about these things, right? And I can ask that now and get a real answer. And so it helps me learn as well. But I'm with William on the name. I like Dakota. I really like Donald Knight III, Trey. But we can't do that. We could.
Sound like George Foreman. He named his kids like George Foreman 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, all the way through 20, right? Like I mean,
it's so genius.
I do like Dakota. Dakota Knight kind of just sounds badass to me.
You were gonna call Dakota Coco though, right?
Yeah, Dakota's gonna. I'm gonna call her Coco regardless because I call Daylon Bear.
Right.
And I'm gonna call her Coco. That's gonna be their nicknames regardless. But
Coco Knight.
Daddies can call their girls anything they want.
There's so many things that can go with Knight. Like Tin Cup is you're limited with that name. You're limited. You gotta. There's a lot of names that just doesn't go with it. Like that sounds terrible.
Ryan Tin Cup. Nah.
Yeah. See. Like there's just things that don't.
Ryan Knight sounds pretty good though.
Ryan Knight.
Hey man. Hey. There we go.
Yeah.
Ryan Knight's a person you would probably follow on Twitter. That's fair. Yeah. You wouldn't follow Ryan Tin Cup. That would not happen. Donald, thank you so much for your time. I know you got to get on to other family things, so thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate you.
No.